Tonight, a message of unity takes center stage, even as extreme weather puts a damper on Canada Day celebrations.
Canada belongs to all Canadians. Canada's best days are yet to come.
Torrential rain shuts down festivities in Ottawa, while many show their pride under sweltering heat. Calls to come together and a time to reflect.
A country powerful together as one, like a crew.
With the country at a critical crossroads. Plus, the U.S. opts not to extend the CUSMA trade deal.
They want to make bilateral deals with Canada and Mexico to deal with a number of issues, and we're prepared to have those conversations.
What it means for trade talks going forward. And Canada gets ready for its Eurovision debut.
It's just amazing for Canada to have the chance to compete under our own flag.
Behind the decision to join the world's biggest song contest.
From CBC News, this is The National with Lindsay Duncombe.
Thank you for watching. Adrian is on assignment covering Canada Day celebrations on Parliament Hill. And that's where we begin tonight as the country turns 159 years old. Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered a message of unity on a day that unfolded under brilliant sunshine, but also extreme heat. Still, there was family fun, plus music and moments steeped in the sounds and symbols of Canada before it was all interrupted by an intense afternoon downpour. Thousands scattered for shelter and major events canceled. Olivia Stefanovic takes us through the storm-tossed day that began with a party.
National pride on full display, even with the sweltering heat.
Just want to wish everybody happy Canada's Day. Elbows up, baby.
I love Canada. I love this country.
Happy Canada Day. Enjoy.
Thousands of people were out in the nation's capital until festivities came to a sudden halt in the afternoon. Torrential rain sent thousands running for cover, flooding roads, canceling the national evening show by Canadian Heritage, including fireworks.
It's not great to be rained out, but it is what it is.
We're all pretty sad. A bit angry, but, it's pretty good right now.
Earlier in the day, the Snowbirds performed a final Canada Day flyover for several years.
What a gift. Our country is our gift.
Louise Arbour delivered her first address at the national ceremony as Governor General.
When hardship strikes, we rally.
Canada is worth fighting for.
While Prime Minister Mark Carney emphasized the importance of national unity.
Canada belongs to all Canadians, that Canada's best days are yet to come.
As separatism gains ground in Quebec, Alberta prepares for a fall referendum, and tensions continue with Canada's closest neighbor, the U.S.
Let no one mistake our mild manner for weakness. We kneel for nobody.
Don't pay any mind to the people who say, oh my God, we're so divided. When you talk with Canadians, we're not.
In a show of togetherness, national Indigenous leaders took the stage.
Mio Canada Kisigaw. Happy Canada Day, everyone.
Invited to speak at the ceremony for the first time.
First Nations are foundational partners and creators in this country's history.
We are proud Canadians and we are proud Indigenous peoples.
And celebrated Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen pumped up the perspiring crowd.
When I look out at all of you, I see the same. A country powerful together as one, like a crew.
The rain interrupted evening plans in Ottawa, but Canadians being Canadians, of course, they continue to find ways to celebrate here on their own.
And Olivia, fireworks aren't the only big cancellation tonight. What happened to the Prime Minister's schedule?
Well, the Prime Minister was supposed to be in Edmonton this evening to cap off Canada Day celebrations and deliver a national unity speech, but his trip was canceled because of severe thunderstorms in Ottawa. Now, the Prime Minister is supposed to return to Alberta soon. Carney is planning to attend the Calgary Stampede, and that kicks off at the end of the week.
Olivia Stefanovic in Ottawa on this Canada Day. Thank you. The sudden storm derailed not only official plans for the day, it took members of our news team by surprise. David Thurton was caught right in the middle of it.
Lindsay, it's been a day of weather extremes, fiery heat and lashing rain. I was down at the big noonday Canada Day concert when suddenly the skies turned from bright blue to gray, and there were signs on the big TV screens down at the concert telling people to shelter in place. Then the skies opened up. At first, it was a big reprieve from the oppressive heat, but then people got drenched and started to run for shelter. The bad weather started to come in waves after that. One of my colleagues got caught in the storm, and he had to dodge some porta potties that were sliding in the wind. That gives you a sense of how bad the weather has been. As my colleague Olivia has said, there has been flooding throughout the National Capital Region, but people have also lost power. And not only are they not going to have fireworks tonight, but they're probably going to have to spend most of the evening indoors because it looks like the bad weather is here to stay for the rest of the evening. For many people, Lindsay, this is a Canada Day that they're going to remember.
That is David Thurton reporting in Ottawa. Manitoba is grappling with what officials call major and multi-regional flooding due to unprecedented rainfall. A large part of the Southwest is under a flood warning or alert, with more than 24 local states of emergency in place. A partial evacuation of Swan River is taking place as floodwater there has not yet reached its peak. Additional resources are being brought in by helicopter. In the city of Dauphin, a hospital had to be evacuated. At least 57 patients, including an infant, have been moved to Brandon. Although rainfall has stopped in many places, rivers are swollen. Washed out roads are affecting the emergency response.
These are the road closures in the region right now. And you saw the map with a ton of red. That's just the provincial infrastructure. You also have all the municipal roads and municipal infrastructure that's been tremendously damaged.
The Premier asked anyone in affected areas to shelter in place tonight. Tens of millions of Canadians are under punishing heat tonight, with hot, humid air expected to last for days. Here is a look at the Environment Canada alerts. The majority that you see are for heat. Some are coupled with severe storm warnings. The worst part of the heat is hitting parts of Ontario and Quebec. Temperatures in the high 30s could feel even hotter with humidity. Angie Seth shows us how Canadians are coping.
Before the skies opened up in Ottawa, Canadians were basking in their element. From Canada Day, the World Cup, and in Toronto, the beloved Blue Jays.
Go Jays, go!
But hanging over it all, the heat.
Honestly, just keep fanning myself.
Like, keep drinking. I make sure that my family drinks water, too.
It's been so hot, we had to go to the dollar store to get a bunch of fans, and we can swat flags with them, too.
Here you go, Mr. Jack.
It is stifling in Ontario and Quebec. Temperatures in the mid-30s, feeling more like the mid-40s with no end in sight for at least a few more days. Trapping that hot, humid air is a weather phenomenon known as a heat dome.
It's like a tent. It's a lid. And all that air, you're breathing it on Friday that you breathed on Monday. It's stale. There's no cooling of it. It gets hotter. And the humidities are so high. I mean, it's jungle humidities out there.
In eastern parts of the United States, millions are sweltering under the blazing heat, expected to last well into the July 4th weekend. Health experts warn the stifling temperatures can be very dangerous.
Once you start really feeling like you're going to pass out, throw up, you start sweating uncontrollably, those are cluing you in that something more is happening than just mild heat, and you really need to get away from the heat, go indoors, cool off, and to stay well hydrated.
Especially for seniors and young children, in particular, may not recognize the warning signs of heat stroke or heat exhaustion and should be monitored carefully.
We're still about a month away from when parts of Ontario and Quebec hit their warmest temperatures of the year. Relief from this heat wave is expected by the end of the weekend. Angie Seth, CBC News, Toronto.
As you heard earlier, the extreme weather in Ottawa interrupted the Prime Minister's travel plans and led to the cancellation of his speech in Edmonton tonight on national unity. But that plan was a sign of the moment. As Aaron Collins explains, in Alberta, this Canada Day feels different.
A sea of red and a sign for the times. These Albertans lining up to show off their true colors.
Oh, we have a great turnout. Look at that. Goes around the corner.
An appropriate day to launch this pro-Canada campaign in Calgary.
Happy Canada Day. You know, Canada Day for every Canadian is like Christmas, so today is a big day.
People here aware that these days this flag sends a message in Alberta.
We want to kind of advertise that we're Canadian, we're kind of against the separatist agenda.
As soon as we separate.
Of course, some Albertans are looking to send a different message.
People are celebrating the opportunity that Alberta has.
This Albertans Day rally, a gathering place for the province's sovereigntists.
We're going to stand on our own. We're going to self-determine. We're going to decide what laws we live under. We're going to write our own constitution.
Polls suggest around 30% of Albertans are interested in independence, the push to grow that support seeming to have stalled in recent months.
It seems that nothing is moving, that everyone has made up their minds, and we are going to talk about things for the next couple of months, but not much is changing.
Still, Alberta's premier in the pro-Canada camp worked the crowd this Canada Day.
I hope you're prepared to make a lot of noise today, because I'm a politician that loves noise, and I'm just so pleased to be here for Canada Day.
But this year's Canada Day party feels different in Alberta.
Is it a bit of a surreal Canada Day in Alberta?
Yes, yeah, it is. It's probably the first Canada Day where I felt like I need to do something specific to be able to counteract other narratives I hear out there.
Alberta will hold a referendum on whether the province should begin formally pursuing independence in October. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
The United States has declined to extend the CUSMA trade deal with Canada and Mexico. The move was expected, but it's not what Canada wanted. Let's bring in Peter Armstrong in Washington. Peter, the July 1st deadline has come and gone. What happens now?
You know, Lindsay, we've been building up to this day for a year now, but nothing really changes. All this means is that the three parties couldn't come to an agreement that would have extended CUSMA for 16 years. But even without that extension, it's going to continue to operate as is until it expires, which is July 1st of 2036.
So the deal continues, but Donald Trump has previously said he wants it terminated.
Yeah, and he may not like this, but the Americans know this deal doesn't expire for 10 years. Just take a look at the official statement from the U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. It said, you know, the United States is going to continue to engage with Mexico and Canada to address the agreement's shortcomings. But he went on to say, however, the agreement remains in force pending resolution of these issues or until the agreement's termination, which again, that termination is in 2036.
So, Peter, does this change the approach to making some kind of deal?
You know, it may. Everything up to this point's really been governed by the rules set out in the agreement. Now, it's less defined. So they'll talk, and I think if you kind of squint, you can start to see the outline of what a deal might look like, right? The Americans talk about separate protocols or side letters. Canada's chief negotiator, Janice Charette, has talked about Lego blocks that you could tack on to an existing agreement. Today, Dominic LeBlanc, the minister responsible for Canada-U.S. relations, made it clear that Canada is open to that idea.
They want to make bilateral deals with Canada and Mexico.
to deal with a number of issues, and we're prepared to have those conversations with them as well. I reiterated that to them today, as did the Mexicans.
Now that the deadline has passed, what pressures are there to get a deal done?
So politically, the midterms are now looming, and the Republicans look to be in trouble. So do the Americans want to get this done before then, or does a deal emerge after that? But the biggest point of pressure is economic. This is causing real pain, sure, in Canada and Mexico, but it's also causing economic harm here in the U.S. And businesses want relief, and they want that relief sooner, not later.
Peter, thank you. That is Peter Armstrong in Washington tonight. 1 week after twin earthquakes devastated Venezuela, the death toll has surged as the government declares 7 days of national mourning.
Al día de hoy se contabilizan 2,295.
An official update put deaths at nearly 2,300 and more than 11,000 injured. Other sources estimate the number of missing from 43,000 to 50,000. Local volunteers and international teams continue to search the rubble in the hope of finding survivors, but that hope is fading. Doctors warn of the rising danger of untreated injuries and infections as thousands remain homeless in unsanitary conditions. The lead singer of the band The Village People, Victor Willis, has died at age 74. Willis was best known as the band's mustachioed police officer, and he co-wrote hit songs like YMCA and Macho Man. The band announced the singer passed away yesterday after a short but aggressive illness. And it is a moment fans of extravagant musical performances have been waiting for. Canada will be part of the 2027 Eurovision Song Contest. As Alexander Silberman shows us, some say the move could be a way to strengthen ties with Europe.
Fireworks, extravagant costumes, and fierce competition in the world's most popular singing contest. Soon to feature Canada.
It's about to get even better, even wilder.
Prime Minister Mark Carney, a personal fan of Eurovision, announcing that Canada will participate in Bulgaria next year. The contest, which draws tens of millions of viewers, sees singers battle it out by performing original songs.
The world wants Canada, wants Canadian culture.
The decision comes less than a week after CBC Radio-Canada became a full member of the European Broadcasting Union, a requirement to join the contest. The federal government first teased the idea in the 2025 budget, with funding set aside to explore participation in Eurovision.
The Canadian government is really facing Europe. So joining the contest, I think, is arguably a way in which Canada can be more European.
Canadians have taken to the Eurovision stage before. Céline Dion won on behalf of Switzerland in 1988, Natacha Saint-Pierre in 2001, and Lazara in 2023.
It's really exciting.
Canadian Laurel Barker has written songs for other nations in the contest.
So it's just amazing for Canada to have the chance to compete under our own flag.
Competing comes at a cost, a tiered entry fee and production expenses. For Canada, the total would likely be $500,000, according to this expert.
The question of why are we spending money on a European Song Contest, I think those are questions that I think are legit and we're going to need some answers to.
Canada is the first new country to join since Australia in 2015. The selection process for a contestant will be unveiled later this year. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Montreal.
Members of Canada's men's soccer team are in Texas tonight, preparing for Saturday's round of 16 match against Morocco. But head coach Jesse Marsch isn't tipping his hand yet about what role star captain Alphonso Davies will play.
We will be thinking about how to use Alphonso again in this game, whether from the start or off the bench.
Players hit the pitch Wednesday afternoon for a training session under the hot Houston sun. Marsch predicts his squad's fitness level, combined with Monday's long overtime match for Morocco, gives Canada the edge. The edge is something Portugal and Croatia are each hoping for when they meet Thursday in Toronto. It is a monumental matchup featuring two soccer icons in a high-stakes knockout clash. As Dale Manukduk tells us, fans on both sides are eager for the superstar showdown.
Footy fans of all ages lined up to catch a glimpse of living legend Cristiano Ronaldo.
I've watched him since I was a kid. I love him. He's inspirational.
Some making the last-ditch effort to score a ticket to tomorrow's match at Toronto Stadium.
It means way more than how much money it costs to get in there.
The superstar is playing in Toronto for the first time since an international friendly between Real Madrid and TFC in 2009. Since then, the fanfare has only grown. Thousands lining the training facility to cheer the team on.
It means a lot for them to have the national team in here, so we're going to do everything in our power to make them proud.
Earlier in the day, a more modest crowd rooting on Croatia.
We're so happy to be here, seeing our national team play in the city that we live in.
It means everything. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I love Modric. I love the whole team. I can't wait to see them.
Many already have in Toronto during Croatia's 1-0 win over Panama last week. The checkered ones have their own icon, center midfielder Luka Modric, who is also in the sunset of his career. And Croatia's goalie is keeping that in mind.
I'm convinced that me and the team will do our best and give everything that Luka continues his path onwards.
You've got two incredibly motivated sides that have started this tournament believing that they can win it and celebrate those two legends and those national icons. And that, to me, makes this game so enticing.
Ronaldo has already rewritten the history books this summer, becoming the first man to score in 6 World Cups. Meanwhile, Modric has penned a new page of his own, appearing in his 200th cap for Croatia. All that's left to see is who will lift their team to the next round. Dale Manukduk, CBC News, Toronto.
CBC News is getting exclusive access to a Canadian shipwreck expedition.
These wrecks are very deep, but we want to come back with visual evidence.
How researchers are documenting the ship that carried explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton on his final voyage. Next.
But we'll never be the 51st state.
That is the latest single from legendary Canadian singer-songwriter Bryan Adams, with a very elbows-up message apparently aimed at Donald Trump. Posting on the band's website, Adams says he released the 51st state as a tribute to the pride and spirit of my fellow Canadians. The rest is just noise.
It's her first day to come out from the home, so she was at home for 20 days, and then yeah, that's also a big day for her and for me as well, and my family as well.
This Canadian is only 20 days old, and today her father is one of the country's newest citizens. Along with dozens of others, he took the oath of citizenship in a Canada Day celebration at the Museum of Immigration in Halifax. Now for an exclusive look at Canadian history in the making, a groundbreaking expedition to a famous shipwreck. The Quest sank in the Labrador Sea in 1962, but it's best known as an exploration vessel commanded in the early 1920s by Sir Ernest Shackleton. Just hours from now, a new expedition, co-sponsored by the Royal Canadian Geographical Society, will embark from Massachusetts for unprecedented views of that wreck. And Peter Cowan will be sailing along with it. Peter, set this up for us.
Lindsay, I'm on board Atlantis, which is docked here in Woods Hole, Massachusetts. And I want to show you, this is Alvin, probably the best known underwater submersible. It took the first people down to see Titanic, and later this week, it will do the same for a Canadian shipwreck. They're looking for Quest. This was the last ship of explorer Ernest Shackleton. He died on board while exploring Antarctica. After his death, it became a commercial sealing ship, which is why it sunk off the coast of Labrador. 2 years ago, the Royal Canadian Geographical Society found the wreck, but only with sonar.
But it's not clear. You can't really get a sense of the vessel and its condition from the sonar. So this is a chance to, deal with this unfinished business, to go back and see the vessel close up.
This is the biggest expedition the Royal Canadian Geographical Society has ever mounted. It will also visit the wreck of Terra Nova, sunk off Greenland, the last ship of Robert Falcon Scott, who died after reaching the South Pole. All of these wrecks will be documented with Canadian technology.
We want to map them in such detail, which is, we call it a digital twin. These wrecks are very deep, it's very dark, it's cold, people can't visit there, but we want to come back with visual evidence and maps of the shipwreck in 3 dimensions.
I'll be on board for the expedition. CBC News has exclusive access, showing you those first pictures and completing the story of the heroic age of exploration. Lindsay?
Peter Cowan on the Massachusetts coast, thank you. Canadians across the country are celebrating Canada Day, but stormy weather canceled some evening events in Ottawa.
It was going to be a great event, but you can't, it's Canada, you can't fight the weather.
Adrian's interview with the Tragically hip's Paul Langlois, that's next. From coast to coast to coast, Canadians gathered today to mark the country's 159th birthday and celebrate Canada Day. Here's just a taste.
Bonne fête du Canada! Happy Canada Day!
Happy Canada Day! I love you, Canada. Bonne fête to Canada. Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day from Banff.
The vibes are going to be immaculate. It's going to be great.
As you know, our diversity, our vast, everything is different in Canada. And, we're not perfect, but we're close to be perfect. And this is why I come every year here.
The vibes here are very high and I can't stop dancing.
We are a diverse community now, and to be able to have other people from other cultural groups come and support us is huge.
Canada's best days are yet to come. How exciting is that to see Canada playing this deep into the World Cup?
We're like cheering them on. It's so great. I'm so proud of our Canadian team.
People look to Canada for hope. We're this young country that has people from around the world.
A washout for Canada Day festivities in the nation's capital, where heavy rains and thunderstorms forced organizers to pull the plug on the country's National Canada Day show. One of the artists slated to perform at that cancelled show, Paul Langlois, the former Tragically hip guitarist turned solo act, spoke to Adrian about his disappointment with not being able to play tonight.
Well, happy Canada Day. Again, I was about to say that there's been a minor break in the weather, but even that's not quite true. It's still starting up again. There are pockets of storms that are happening here. This day started off beautifully here in Ottawa, and then the lightning and the thunder came, but there have been road closures, severe flooding, planes not able to take off, and the big kind of big heartbreak here is that the concert that was planned for tonight was canceled because it just wasn't safe. So a whole bunch of us came back to the hotel wondering what to do, and I ran into a great Canadian in the lobby. I just want to introduce you.
Oh, hi.
To Paul Langlois.
Hi.
So Paul Langlois, this great Canadian rocker, Tragically hip, solo career. You had big plans for tonight, and I'm just wondering, what went through you the moment you heard that you wouldn't be performing tonight?
I got a little privately emotional. Not only for me, there's so many other you know, artists and known and unknown.
Yeah.
That had a big opportunity today just to play in front of the country. And on Canada Day, like it's just, you sort of can't beat that. I felt like I had an opportunity. You know, we were going to nail the song and we felt great, but, you know, it didn't work out. So I'm okay with it.
Well, you're a brave guy, because I actually don't think you are okay with
I'm
that.
bummed out about
I know
it.
you
Yes,
are.
I am bummed.
So you're talking about nailing the song. We're talking about Ahead by a Century, right? This beautiful hip song that everybody knows. We were lucky enough to be there when you were rehearsing. And I don't, you know, it's not a secret because it's not happening now, but Ed Robertson of Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, Ed was going to sing it, and I was just going to do my part. And I'm telling you, the house band, which was actually 10 people at least, all from Montreal, Quebec French artists, they were so good. We sound checked and you know, we did a little rehearsal and they were so good. And we were lucky enough to meet them last night at the pub. And you know, there were just so many artists. Nolene Hoffman from Alberta, you know, young girl, she was so good. I mean, because I watched the whole sound check, because it was going to be a great event, but you can't. It's Canada. You can't.
No.
You can't fight the weather. Yeah.
What is it, do you think, about the hip and Gord Downie that resonates so much with Canadians on a day like today?
I don't know. It just it was a lucky thing. We just fell into a lucky thing where we had 5 people that got along. We knew each other like in high school, and we just always committed to writing songs, and it was all about the songwriting. We just knew that that's the only way we're going to do it, and playing live. So it was those two things. He was a special person, obviously, and he was a great dancer. And I think that his ability to dance and just do what he did naturally on stage was kind of a big part of us, and we just wanted to be like the tightest band around with him in front, and so kind of worked out.
He would have been so bummed about this today. You know, I don't know if everybody knows the story, but in 1992, Tragically Hip did a completely crazy thing on Canada Day. You went from Halifax to Barrie to Vancouver in one shot. What on earth possessed you?
That was our first business class flight. And we were on Spinal Tap did, I think, the actual band Spinal Tap did Toronto to Vancouver. And yeah, I mean, you know, we were kind of road people. We were on the road all the time. So that was, you know, it was a long day, but it wasn't anything for us. You know, when you tour this country, it's like, you know, it's 8 hours between, you know,
I get it.
Winnipeg and Regina, and it's like it's not an easy country to tour. And so if you're flying from Halifax to Toronto to Vancouver and playing a little show,
easy peasy.
Yeah. Back then, we were young then.
Well, listen, don't look now. The sun is coming out.
I can't even believe it.
I know. Paul Langlois, what could have been?
Adrian Arsenault. I am so pleased and proud to be doing an interview with this woman.
Look
I've watched
at you.
her so long.
I'll give you a $10 bill in there. Thanks, Russ.
Okay.
See you later, guys.
Coming up, snapshots of a national leader navigating a new world order.
Well, I described accurately what the U.S. is doing, which is, the fancy word is monetizing its relation.
A look back at Mark Carney's time in office so far, one frame at a time. Next. The pictures on Mark Carney's office walls tell a story. Back in the spring, on the anniversary of his election win, the Prime Minister spoke to Adrian about some of the images that define his time in office so far.
There we are.
So what? This is Nico, right?
That is Nico. Yes, that is Nico, and it's in the run-up, obviously, to Halloween. And this is Rideau Cottage, which is the permanent temporary home of the Prime Minister.
Are we going to see a Prime Minister at 24 Sussex again?
Well, I think you're not going to see me at 24 Sussex, but I would like to see my successors at 24 Sussex in some way, shape, or form.
Are you going to fix it up?
I think it's a responsibility of, to hand off things better than you found them, and certainly the current state of 24 Sussex couldn't be any worse. It's an embarrassment. And,
but it's a house that belongs to Canadians, and they can't see it, they can't go in it, the Prime Minister can't live there.
Yeah, and so this is fine, for me and Nico and my wife, but I think, as I say, my successors should have somewhere where, what's important is somewhere they can host foreign leaders and, the premiers and Canadians and have meetings and things like that there. So we'll.
Is that going to be a line item in a budget?
Well, it would have to be a line item. Well, we'll see. We'll see if, Joni, yes, legendary. Juno Awards, absolutely amazing. She was absolutely amazing and so full of energy and pride. That was only a few weeks ago in Hamilton.
This is the G7, right?
This is the G7 in Kananaskis that President Trump had left. He left after the first day. President Zelensky had come in overnight. This was a much more effective meeting than the one in the room where everything is being piped back and written down and sort of recorded.
So what were you talking about?
We were talking about, I think at that point we were talking about, to be honest, we were talking about probably security guarantees for Ukraine. And what that means is when we get to a position where there is an actual ceasefire, how can we preserve Ukraine, so that Russia would never come back again? And what would we all be doing as part of that? And how we be supporting? And Presidents Starmer and Macron Prime Minister, sorry. President Trump upgraded me to president briefly.
You've also been governor too. So.
Yeah, well, I remember. You see, you remember what you like, and I remember the president. But anyways, we coordinated a bunch of things since then. Right. And the good news is that when there is ultimately a ceasefire, there will be a stable support structure there. This would be Trenton, which is, as you've been, I'm sure, absolutely remarkable base and set of individuals. And this was 9 months ago. It was in the summer, and we were announcing the pay increase for the women and men of the armed forces, and that was the biggest in decades. It was making up for lost time. I mean, unfortunately, there was a lot of that which we needed to do, and finally getting pay that approached the level of their responsibilities. And one of the things that's happened since then, and for that and other reasons, is recruitment to the armed forces is the highest it's been since 3 decades plus. So
it was
amazing.
Low before. I mean, it was
pay was low, but also the trajectory and the remarkable what our forces do here in Canada, supporting. I mean, you think the forest fires, the floods, all these events. But I was at, there's Ukraine, but we have something called Operation Unifier we're on the front lines basically in Latvia, and Canada leads that, and I went and visited that, and we just renewed. So, so there's war and love. My new best friend, Hudson.
Is there a scene that's your go-to, your favorite?
No, I don't. Go-to, it was a good scene. I mean, it was an amazing scene. And it's even more amazing as I understand it, from an acting perspective, is when his rival / partner, he's back in Russia.
How about you tell me everything that's on your mind, but in Russian? I won't understand, but maybe it'll help.
And Hudson is getting his partner to tell him what he feels.
In Russian.
In Russian. So it allows the guy to open up, because obviously he doesn't speak Russian. It's not obvious that he doesn't speak Russian, but he doesn't speak Russian. And it's pretty impressive. It's very impressive.
It was good.
Given that there's our premier skipping over by this,
Yep.
Yeah. Great group. Cooperative federalism. Cooperative,
Cooperative, but also independent-minded. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. The ad, not putting American booze back on. How frustrating is that, or how encouraging is it?
Well, I would say, look, as a whole, it's worked we've worked well together, and this is very much what Canadians expect. You know, they expect us to work well together. It's a time to build together, and they are independent. I mean, they have their own responsibilities, and they're elected, and they make decisions, and sometimes it makes life a little more difficult, but that's...
Did Doug Ford make life a little more difficult?
With the ad? Yeah, well, yes he did. Yes, he did. I mean, but he knows that, and Doug, don't yell at me for pointing out the obvious, but that was true. But you know, on the other decision, you know, as a whole, we work to be coordinated. We brief the premiers on where things are with the U.S., where the negotiations are going. You know, there's very strong views. As we meet today, Premier Frechette of Quebec is down in Washington, which is right. The other premiers have been down. Premier Ford was down
with you beforehand?
We met last week. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Ottawa.
And Davos. Did the reaction to this speech surprise you?
To a large degree.
We know the old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy.
I knew what I was saying and what it meant, and it was core policy, and that was the right forum in which to say it, because I was saying it both to other leaders but also business leaders, because the sign is in the window for a lot of businesses as well, right, to use the metaphor.
The powerful have their power. But we have something too. The capacity to stop pretending, to name reality, to build our strength at home, and to act together.
What surprised me is how much it cut through to the general public and the general public around the world. So I got up early. I was in India, I was in Mumbai, and I got up early and I walked around the block, and you know, a street vendor raised it with me, or I got into a troop carrier, and I won't name the country, one of our European allies, and you know, a sergeant in it raised it with me. Like it really did penetrate, and what that told me is, you know, I was saying what people were thinking, you know, so.
And you're okay with President Trump not liking it?
Well, I described accurately what the U.S. is doing, which is the fancy word is monetizing its integration. So it's using how close the economic ties are to extract from that. And you can do that for a while, but you can't do that forever. And you know, a partnership is give and take, and that needs to happen. And you know, yes, there's going to be a reaction, but it was a more general point. China does that. China does that with critical minerals. We do that to some degree with against Russia on plumbing of the financial system. We use that against Russia and Ukraine, as we should. But yeah, so.
So you don't think that's come back to haunt you from the U.S.?
Not at all. Well, okay. Look, I mean, that's real. What I said is reality, and is reality great? You know, in the world, no. We talked about it in there, but you got to understand. You have to accept the world as it is to work to make it better. And certainly, from Canada's perspective, we have to do that. And I'll say one other thing, which is that the number of countries that agree with what I said and the consequence of that for our relationships with other countries and new partnerships is a very, very long list, and some very good partners in that.
Okay.
Okay, Adrian, thank you very much.
Coming up, Canadians tell us who they're thankful for this Canada Day.
Shout out to Kawhi Leonard for coming back to the Raptors!
Shout outs from across the country next. Canadians have been shouting out to the people who make up this country. So tonight, we want to share some of those messages with you.
Shout out to my grandfather, Ken Olson, who is no longer with us, but whose memory is always vivid on Canada Day. He was a first-generation Canadian who signed up to fight World War II at 16 and landed with Allied troops in Germany at 17. When he got home, he married my grandmother, Anne, and they had 5 children. To support his family, he worked as an iron worker on major infrastructure projects across British Columbia. My grandfather was a proud tradesman and a proud Canadian. Happy Canada Day to all the veterans and tradespeople who build our nation.
Who do you want to shout out?
My husband, Brandon Johnston.
Any reason?
He is the love of my life and the biggest supporter of me as a new Canadian.
Shout out Brett Wilson from Calgary, Alberta.
Why is that?
He's been a great advocate for Canada. Sunshine, rain, no matter what we're going through, he's always cheering for us and doing what he can to keep Canada together.
Shout out to Kawhi Leonard for coming back to the Raptors!
Shout out to Jonathan Tibbs, who used to play with the Chicago Blackhawks and Winnipeg. And shout out to my family and my friends. Peace out, Canada.
I want to shout out to the treaty people, eh? You know, we're the hosts, and we keep welcoming people here. I think that's a really strong point, that our people are resilient, but they're still, you know, in spite of all of the difficulties, we're still able to say welcome. Welcome to my territory.
And a shout out to everyone who sent in their messages. We received more than 10,000 of them, and 1,000 of those messages aired on our special programming today. From all of us here at The National, thanks for being with us. Happy Canada Day.